The Star of Hope by Professor Dan Collins. Soon it would be the young Hopi Indian boy's 13th birthday. He was a lean and muscular youth who enjoyed the world around him. He loved going for long walks and observing nature. The boy was always in awe at the varied and colorful creation which the Great Spirit had placed all around him and his people. The boy was especially fond of camping. He would take his woven blankets and head far out from the village to sleep under the magnificent blanket of stars that Gitche Manitou had spread out across the endless heavens. Laying there in the pitch blackness, the boy felt as if he were the only one in the world. He would lay there breathless, as an occasional light would streak across the sky, knowing these to be messengers of the Great Spirit. Often as he slept in the desert, the boy would receive visions from the spirit world, and it was one of these particular that brought great joy to his heart. In fact, he could not contain the happiness that he felt, so he called his family together in their pueblo dwelling so he could share the vision with them. Gray Wolf, his grandfather, was seated cross-legged on a blanket spread on the floor. His father and mother were there with uncles, aunts, brothers, and sisters. They were all very anxious to hear what he had to tell them. The wizened old grandfather raised his hand, and there was silence. He spoke. His voice was gentle, yet strong in his advanced age. "You have been given a special vision. Speak to us what the spirits have shared with you." The boy stood and looked across his family. "A spirit came to me one night recently when I slept out in the desert alone. It was a beautiful spirit, dressed unlike any of us. His clothes were all the purest white, and he shone with the light of the sun. And his clothes went all the way down to the ground so that his bare feet alone were just barely uncovered." "Were you afraid, son?" his father inquired. "No, there was no reason to fear him. He smiled and said, 'Greetings.' Then he said, 'I have come from the Creator of all things, and I have glad news to share with you. You must take my message and share it with your people.'" "From the Creator?" his mother exclaimed. "And he chose you to bring his special message to us? Please go on. Tell us what the Spirit told you." A look of awe came over the boy's face as he continued. "He told me that soon, in a land far away, the Creator would come to earth and be born as a baby to live with men that he created. The Spirit said that the Creator had a very special mission that would be a great blessing to all of his children. He said that the Creator is already here, but not yet been born." The grandfather asked, "Where is this faraway land? Can we go there and see the Creator ourselves?" "He said only that he is across many waters and lands, and that Creator will dwell there with other sheep, but that his mission of love is as much a blessing for us as to them and to all the people through all time past and to come." One of the uncles smiled and remarked, "I look on a boy who will soon be a man, and he speaks as one who will be a great prophet and shaman. What else did the Spirit tell you?" "Well, he told me," but the boy stammered, "I am afraid to speak of this, Father." "You don't need to fear, son," his father replied. "You must share all the vision that he gave to you. But such things are not for a boy to talk about with adults." "Please go on, grandson, you must," the elder grandfather implored. "He said that the baby Creator would be born of a very special maiden that has never known a man. She is a virgin, yet with child. He said the baby would grow with no sins, and that he would die when he was a man, and pay for all sins of all people with his own blood, if they will but come and ask." All of the faces looked astounded. How could such a thing be possible, they all wondered as the boy prophet continued. "We will not see him as we walk this life, but the Spirit told me that he would be there to meet us when we go to the next life. He told me over and over how much the Creator loves us, and that we are his children. He showed me what the Creator will look like when he has grown. He didn't look much different than us, but the color of his skin was different, and his face was covered with hair. His eyes, though, they were deep and had love and compassion for all." "When will the Creator be born?" the uncle asked. We will hold a great feast to celebrate his coming." "The Spirit told me to watch for his star in the sky. When I see it, my eyes must follow the star across the sky. When it disappears from view, the Creator child will have been born." "The Spirit seemed to consider you a man, for no such important message would be trusted to a mere boy," the grandfather observed. "It is time that you are given a man's name. Star Watcher. Yes, I believe that is what the spirits would want you to be named." The boy smiled. You are wise, my grandfather. Thank you for such a fine name. Here today I am no longer a boy, but a man amongst men. I am Star Watcher." For the next several weeks, Star Watcher made a nightly journey into the desert to that sacred place where the Spirit had appeared, and gave the great message. He watched faithfully for the Creator star, which the Spirit had told him of. One night he was very, very tired and fell into a deep sleep quite quickly. He had no idea how long he had been sleeping, but he woke and sat bolt straight up. It was late, and the desert was strangely silent and bright, indeed, brighter than when the full moon shines down on the sands. Yet it was not time for the full moon. Star Watcher rubbed the sleep from his eyes, and looking up he saw the star. In the sky, almost directly above him, was the brightest star that the man Star Watcher had ever seen. It was beautiful. There could be no doubt that this was the Creator's star, and he sat there transfixed by the vision high above him. Soon, in that faraway land, the Creator would be born, clothed in human flesh. Yes, Star Watcher, it is the Creator's star. The voice of the Spirit came from beside him. Star Watcher turned to face the handsome Spirit. Has the Creator been born yet? Oh, how I wish I could see him, to look on the face of the one who made everything that is. It would be a very long journey, Star Watcher, but there is another way that will not take your physical body, but rather your spirit. Lay back down on your blanket, and I will cause a vision to fall on you. The eyes of your spirit will see the baby that even now has just been born. Star Watcher did as he was told, and he laid back and closed his eyes. In an instant it was as if he were gone from the desert, and that the waters and lands rushed past beneath him. He thought how fast the spirit is able to travel. The setting he appeared at was strange to him, as were the people. All the men had hair on their faces, something the men of his people could not grow. There were many animals that were unfamiliar to him also, and setting before him on the hay was the most beautiful woman dressed in blue and white robes. Her arms were lovingly cradling a baby wrapped in rough textured cloth. Star Watcher heard a whimper from the newborn, and he smiled and felt a warmth of happiness all around him. No one was aware of his presence except for the lovely young woman who he heard someone call Mary. She could see Star Watcher, and she smiled so gently at him, and with her hand beckoned for him to come closer. Come, you have journeyed far to see my baby, your Creator. Come and look on his innocent face, Star Watcher. He walked forward and looked down at the little baby in swaddling clothes. He reached out and held one of the little pink hands, and the baby squeezed his finger. It was at that moment that everything went dark. The young man struggled to open his eyes, and when they finally did, he found himself back in the desert alone. He searched the skyline, but the Creator's star was gone, and the Spirit was gone too. Star Watcher felt a great peace within himself. As he sat there, he laid back and closed his eyes. In the distance a coyote howled. There was the sound of a nearby night bird, and the crickets chirped, a melodic refrain, and in this peace Star Watcher fell asleep assured of the love of the Creator Spirit, who now was a young baby who would walk with the men who he himself had created.